The government needs to fix the chaos that are in the education sector once and for all. Currently, the university lecturers, the academic staff are demonstrating on the streets because the government has failed to honor the CBA that they signed with the government. So the government needs to come out strongly to fix the education sector because we are headed towards a turmoil. Before the lecturers demonstrated on the streets or started their strike, the students had threatened to demonstrate or to go on the streets against the government funding model for the universities. Fortunately, the government has commissioned a committee to look into the funding model. And we hope that they are going to look at the areas that is causing a lot of anxiety amongst the student. One of which is affordability and the issue of the loans, the huge loans that the students are going to accumulate once they are through their education, so much that they will have to pay back to the government. So that is one area that we hope the committee will look into, even as they try to fix the funding model. Another thing is the banding. It's been a problem because the government came up with 6 bands. We are wondering how this happened because even when we look at the social strata, we realize that we only have 3 strata. Those that are at the top are the rich, the average, and the poor. And for our case, we had 6 bands, and the students have complained that quite a number of them have been placed on the bands that they don't belong to. The government used an instrument where the income from the family was actually one of the areas that was considered while giving out the loans. This is not fair enough because we realize that these students actually are over 18 and they are on their own according to the Kenyan Constitution, and therefore this loan belongs to them. It doesn't belong to their parents. So they're just beginning to learn, and therefore they're beginning their lives on loans. So this is something that the government needs to look into, even as the committee tries to investigate what is wrong with the banding system that was designed by the government. But you're worried that the education sector is collapsing because of the many turmoils that have faced the education sector. Recently, the teachers in high school, that is KUPPET, Kenya Union of Post-Primary Union, actually went on strike, and it took 2 weeks while they were on strike and the students were not being taught. And this is a concern because they wasted 2 good weeks without teaching, and this definitely affects the quality of education that we have in Kenya. When we have so many strikes, disruptions, then chances are very high that the quality that we get at the end of the education cycle may not be that which aligns itself to the job market. So we are asking the government to fix the problem in the education sector. Let us deal with all the issues that are affecting the education sector as we speak today. There's so many. One of them is still where the JSS has been domiciled, because there has been claims that grade 9 and grade 10 should have been domiciled in high school. Of course, that is now water under the bridge, but it is one area that still needs to be looked into, because as we said, that a lot of resources are going to be wasted. The classrooms that are currently occupied by the Form 4s that are taking the examination at the end of the year will be left vacant, while the government is constructing classrooms in primary schools at a cost of 16 billion, while there are classrooms that are already existing in high school. So these are issues that, policy issues that needs actually to be looked into so that we don't waste a lot of resources while we are trying to fix the problem that is in the education sector. So allow me to stop at that level and probably get your responses as far as this is concerned. But one thing that is very clear, that the education sector is in turmoil, and the government needs to come out strongly to fix these problems that the education sector is facing.